or vice president, secretary and stuff. So how do you think you're going to control your anger in order to communicate clearly with them and get the message across?
Time off for myself so I can like cool down, and then when I'm like nice and calm, I'll just talk to them so we can like talk things out, because communication is like one of the most important things that you need between the class board. So you have to have clear minds when you're going to go into communication, like when you're going to talk about problems and stuff. So I'd have to like calm down first, and then I just talk to them like normal people.
With that situation, I would say that whenever I have a problem, I usually, especially if it has anything to do with SGA, I say I have good communication with Ms. Gunn, our class sponsor, and I will go to her first. Like, I've had it happen before where I'll just go to her and I'll talk to her about it and I'll see what she thinks. Because usually I would like attack something on the spot. Like, I'll just say how I feel there, but I feel like sometimes that's not effective with every type of person. That doesn't work with every person. So if it's with SGA or if it's with our class, like, I'll go to her first, listen to her advice, take in, and then put my input on it, and then whatever she tells me. So basically the adult perspective of it.
You seem like a pretty confident person, Deborah, so do you ever feel stressed out?
I wouldn't say with class things, maybe like some personal things I get stressed about. But
so how would you deal with that stress and manage it in order to communicate?
Because, yeah, being president, there will be a lot on your plate. We want to know from all of you, actually.
Especially junior class president, because you're going to be like working towards senior year and preparing your class for the financial stability. There we go.
We'd like to know how you would manage your stress, how you're planning to manage your stress.
I think I can easily manage my stress by maybe just cooling down, maybe listen to a few songs, you know, just to calm down, or like just speaking to Ms. Gunn. Whenever I speak to Ms. Gunn, I'm usually able to calm down, or just speaking to anybody about it. It may be a fellow student, a fellow classmate, or a fellow officer. That works for me too. So any way for me to just get out what I have to say, I can cool down, or I can release stress like that.
So back to the question. We know nobody's perfect, but what's something you feel you can work on?
Something I could work on is my anxiety, because I know I have trouble a lot, and I really I get nervous a lot, like right now. So I really need to work on that.
How do you plan on working?
I mean, I go to therapy each week, so
Okay, so you have anxiety. So how is your anxiety going to reflect? Like, I know with anxiety you feel stressed out immediately, and that kind of has a reflect on your grades. Or yeah, I know because I have the same problem. But so how are you going to deal with that in regards to your grades and keeping up with the class and all that? Because I know that can be overwhelming. So how are you going to deal with that specifically?
Multitasking. I can multitask a lot. I'm able to maintain having to deal with certain things come at me at once, and I'm able to handle it all.
We'd also like to hear from Julian and Karen. If you were president this year, what would you have done differently?
I think that the communication was a big problem in our school. Like, many times people weren't, people in our class weren't aware of events that our class would hold until like they were over. So I think that's going to be really important for the upcoming year, to be sure that all of the class knows what's going on. That's like one of the main goals that I would try to accomplish.
Well, I think something that needs a lot of improvement is communication and also support. Because I know this year for me, I didn't really know a lot of what happened this year. And then I heard that not a lot of people helped out. And I want to change that so that we can progress from junior year all the way throughout our senior years.
So aside from the cell phone texting thing and General Assembly, what are other ideas you have of expressing like what's going on in the class? Because I know all these classes have used the same things, but there's still no big word out there. So what are some of your personal ideas that you think are going to help communicate with each other?
Well, within the class, you can just pick a group of the most outgoing students, and you can kind of call them the communication group. They could be like the ones in charge of going out to everyone in the class and kind of just like explain to them what's going on, because it's like some people don't want to like sign up for the texting, or they might not even follow the class. So it's really important to be sure that there's people communicating in school too. So having like a certain group of people that aren't shy to just go out and like tell all the class what's going on and stuff.
I agree with Karen's idea. I would say that that's really effective, because I know I like to do things like that where I would like just pop up or spring up in front of people and be like, oh, you should come to this or you should come to that. So the whole, what do you call it, communication group or communication committee, that would be something that I think would be very effective, not only for 2015, but also for like the school. Like, I think that would be really effective.
And we'd also, last question, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this 3-strike policy we kind of just came up with. So integrity as a leader, it's very imperative. How do you plan on dealing with issues within the board, between officers? Like if there's, say, an officer gets suspended, or if there's like an issue similar to that, like an issue with like officers getting in trouble or officers setting bad examples, do you think that there should be like a 3-strike rule where officers can get voted down?
Definitely.
Or removed?
Definitely, because being an officer is kind of like a privilege. Like people look up to you, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be behaving in a way that's commendable, that people can look up to you and want to follow you, want to be like you. So there's no excuse for have acted a certain way that you could even get suspended as an officer. So I think the 3-strike rule would be really good to enforce.
I think the 3-strike rule is a good idea, because being president, it shows good character, and people will look up to you as like, what is it called? Oh, sure. They'll look up to you like as a leader, and basically you would have to show the whole class how responsible you are and how your character will prove to everybody else how a good person you will be.
I would say that the 3-strike rule is a good, would be effective. At the same time, we have to know, like, we have to view like circumstances, like the situation. So I would say if like maybe we would have the executive board, like it could be like a thing. It wouldn't like, let me not say mock trial, like put somebody down, but like a thing where they view what happened, what was the situation, and maybe they decide on whether are you supposed to be demoted, or maybe you have to give a school-wide apology or something like that. So I
Like a
think,
trial?
yeah.
So now we're gonna take some questions from the audience.
Does anyone have
a question? Over here. We'll come back to you.
So they were talking about how you're preparing for next year, and the senior year is a very expensive year. So how are you trying to raise funds to help the senior class?
They're rising juniors, but still.
Okay, but still, like you need to raise funds to help for the senior year, you know? So how are you gonna raise funds?
So far, we've been doing certain things to help us raise money, but with the class, I think that we have more ideas, and we just need more people to pitch in ideas so it can give other people more ideas for us to be able to bring in money. But we have some things planned and set.
I agree with Deborah. Like our class has a lot of ideas. The thing is getting them executed. Like you can throw in all of these ideas, but if they're not planned out and like put on paper and you don't get permission for it, like how is it gonna help you raise money? Like we need to make sure that they're actually getting executed.
Oh, what was the question?
How are we gonna go?
What was the question?
Oh, well, to raise money, you basically need a lot of fundraising. And then, like these two said, they do have a lot of ideas, but it's just like the lack of support from our class. Like we need more people to come out and actually help, because without them, we can't really do anything for our class as a whole.
Next question.
Okay, so you're going to be juniors next year. I expect that every junior is going to be really busy. You're going to probably be doing sports, extracurricular activities, trying to impress colleges with your grades and everything, probably take on AP courses. How is that going to affect your duties as president? How would you prioritize?
Well, I'm really good with managing my time. I hate like messes and like mistakes. Like I just hate it. So I would make sure that when it's time to be president, it's time to be president.
I'm gonna take one more question.
What have you done as classmates of your class 2015? What have you done this year to put any effort into your class? Even just as not, even if you didn't hold a place in office, what meetings have you attended? What is the smallest thing that you've done?
Well, I know earlier this year, like when I wasn't an officer in the beginning of this year, so I made sure I still stayed involved in the class, and I came to class meetings, like the class meetings that we had with Ms. Gunn and with the officers. I still came out to those, and I helped out, like if we had something over the summer, if we had something to do during the school year, I still contributed to putting effort into what we were doing. I didn't just be like, oh, well, I'm not an officer, I don't have any responsibility. I still try to help them get the word out for certain events and basically put my opinion into things so that we could have like a diverse school year.
Well, everything I was aware about, I would try to help. Like I stayed a few times to help out with pep rally decorations. You know, I tried my best to give good spirit at pep rally. But I didn't really know much about other events. Like I knew some events like after they had passed already, but I still did try hard, and I still tried to get other people interested in the class stuff. So I feel like I did a decent job in supporting my class.
Well, this year I didn't do anything, to be honest. Like I was barely informed. I knew about everything after it occurred, like what Karen said. And now that I realize that, and then I've heard a lot of complaints how our class has gone nowhere, and that we need to progress soon. And that's when I started to think about wanting to become the president, because I want to make progression with our class.
Okay, at this time, we're gonna allot each of you a minute for your closing remarks.
So we'll start with you. Definitely.
So I'm going to say as president. So as president, if I am voted president of 2015, I will continue to make sure that the class is together, communicate, and make sure that all of our class in its entirety is aware of events that we're doing. And I will also continue to make sure that we have fundraisers and different things that will bring the class together and also raise money for us. And I think I would try to reach out to the staff too to make it a better school year.
As president, I will try my hardest and give it my 110% to make sure that communication is established great between the staff, Ms. Logan, all the students, and the board, and to make sure that we are on the right track for fundraising for our senior year so that we'll have memories that'll last us a lifetime.
Oh, as president, I will make sure that we actually progress from junior year to senior year successfully, so that we can actually do what we need to do in order to have a good senior year, but also have a good junior year with raising money and being informed and actually having the support we need to be successful as a whole class.
Thank you. This has been the 2015 SGA presidential debate. Thank you.